Hello again and welcome back to some climbing news. Big stuff going on in the climbing world. We have some more 8C plus /V16 sends Kyra Condie announcing her retirement from bouldering, new shoes being announced by tons of companies including Scarpa, Unparalleled, La Sportiva, Okun, and more. A look at the Bern IFSC Bouldering World Cup, a very concerning Senate bill that's threatening climbing all across the United States, and more. So as always, sit back, relax, don't forget to give a like, subscribe if you haven't done so, and want reminders for when these updates come out. And yeah, let's get into it. And starting us off with Bosi. Again, I'm honestly thinking I might just not even mention when he climbs hard stuff anymore. I mean, what even is the point? Oh my god, is 8C / V15 the new 8B? I mean, I suppose this is kind of like the nature of the sport, right? Like a few years ago, climbing 8A or V11 was a huge deal, and now, I mean, it's like news amongst certain friend groups, I guess, or like, I don't know, some countries where no one climbs, like Tuvalu. Has anyone from Tuvalu climbed 8A? Probably not, right? I mean, I'll let you guys know when that happens, but in the meantime, I guess I might as well talk about Bosi's latest 8C send. Dude got another first ascent for a problem he's called remote work, which is kind of late for that name, but you know, whatever. It's in the Peak District in the UK. This thing breaks down as 2 8B boulders without any rest, so it's kind of cool. Double 8B means 8C. I don't know, I've never really understood how that math stuff works, and honestly, I'm good. I'm not a big fan of stuff like Darth Grader or whatever that thing is called. Anyways, big congrats to Will. He's amassing one of the most incredible tick lists for bouldering ever, which, I mean, at this point, you gotta put him easily amongst the top greatest boulderers in the world, right? But I'll leave that one to anyone in the comments that wants to talk about that stuff. Who do you think is the greatest boulderer of all time? Let me know. Moving on. And let's talk about Stefano Carnati, who just got the 5th ascent of Hazel Grace Sit 8C /plus, meaning V15 /16. This is a climb that was put up by Giuliano Cameroni back in 2021. You might be wondering, is there a Mellow vid? And to that I say, yeah, dude, it's Giuliano Cameroni. Of course this is a Mellow vid. What do you think this is? Here you go. You can watch it right there, but also go to Instagram, check out Stefano Carnati's send. This is a segment about him after all. Who cares about Jul? I kind of do. He's a cool dude, I think. I don't know. Anywho, this boulder's in a place called Gotthard Pass. It's in Switzerland, and apparently it's got some pretty finicky weather. I mean, obviously it's not surprising, right? The word pass is in the name. Anytime something's called, you know, whatever pass, you know the weather there is going to be gnarly, which also means that for that same reason, this boulder took Stefano a hell of a long time to send. He did the stand back in 2022, tried the sit in 2024, and it's not until he got a good weather window this year that he managed to get a send. So big congrats to Stefano on his second ever 8C plus-ish. I mean, it seems every single ascensionist, including this guy, believes this climb deserves a slash grade, so 1.5 8C pluses. I guess that's what we'll call his tick list. Yeah, sure. Let's say that. His other one is Vecchio Leone Sit, for anyone that's curious. And then on to the sport climbing world and Jonathan Siegrist, who climbed the 9A plus /515A hard twisted. The climb is in the Wind River Range in Wyoming in a cave called Wolf Point and was FA'd by BJ Tilden back in 2022. And because it's in Wyoming, and literally no one is ever in Wyoming except like Griffin Whiteside, who for whatever reason called half his filter problems Wyoming something, and Jimmy Webb that one time that he went to Wyoming for bouldering and exploring, I guess. This is only the second ever ascent of hard twisted, and incredibly also Jonathan Siegrist's 87th route graded 9A or harder. Like, this dude is freaking 39. He's still climbing insanely hard. I mean, not that being 39 is particularly old or anything, but it's definitely past the like prime for anyone's athletic ability, you know? Like, no shade thrown at trad dads or anything. They're the true greatest athletes in our sport, and everybody should know that. Trad dad bod is fire, and it's what all of us should actually be striving for. But anyways, Congratulations to Jonathan Siegrist. Again, one of the most prolific climbers to ever do it. I'm linking to the FA by BJ Tilden in the description down there too for anyone curious to know what this route looks like. Definitely check it out. It's pretty rad. Next, Tamas Zupan, who is yet another guy I've never even heard of, but who is clearly super strong because he just got the second ascent of Will Bosi's Brain Rot 8C Plus / V16 in Magic Wood. Climbers, man, we're like freaking vultures, man, I swear. Project literally next to Jack's Broken Heart, one of the most trafficked 8A plus boulders probably ever, and no one touches it for years. Then Bosi comes in, sends, and then not even a month later, boom, first repeat. Like I said, vultures. I swear, if Bosi had done this thing at the beginning of the season instead of the end of it, it would have so many more repeats. It's crazy. Although I guess it's also true that like once something's done, it's just kind of like everybody knows it's possible. So anyways, seriously, Tamas Zupan's only climbed 4 8C boulders, V15 by the way, and he took only 5 sessions to do this thing, and he's 37, and he wasn't as strong beforehand. How did he get so strong? Well, apparently he forced himself to do 500 pull-ups per day on a 12mm edge every day for a month. Let me repeat that. 500 pull-ups per day. And then campusing problems at 60 degrees, I'm assuming on a kilter board, and campus boarding. I'm gonna need a minute. How do you hit 500 pull-ups per day? That's nuts. Like, even if you did sets of 20, which is already tough, you still have 25 sets to do. Like, on a 12mm too. Like, not a pull-up bar. Like, how do people do that? Because congrats to Tamas, he's a freak of nature, clearly. Yeah, dude says he's not a very technical climber, which, I mean, given his training routine, it's kind of like, duh. I bet he falls on V2 slab. I don't know why that's supposed to make me feel better. I fall on V2 slab, but, you know, it makes me feel better. Anyways, and then in other news, Kyra Condie has actually just announced her retirement from competition bouldering, which, okay, dude, honestly, there are few people out there that I don't personally know, like, at all, that I respect more than this chick. Firstly, because of her attitude in general. Her whole ethos is you suck, try harder, which is something that very much speaks to me, in case you can't tell by like everything about this show. Not a fan of positivity for positivity's sake. There's too much of that crap in the world, too much disingenuous shit. You don't need me smiling at you and being all yay, yay, hooray when I don't mean it. It's stupid and it's cringy and I hate it. And Kyra, she's gone through some serious stuff with her back, like spinal fusion stuff or something. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I just know that must have hurt. She has like zero mobility in her back. She's the climbing world's aluminum monster. And yet, did you guys see her flashing V10 on the tension board like it was a warm-up during those the Tension Board Lords episode? That was insane. The aluminum monster is actually a perfect nickname. She needs to have that like be her thing. Most of us wouldn't even be able to freaking walk if we had what she has, and yet there's Kyra Condie constantly climbing in the top 20 in every Bouldering World Cup in the last like, I don't know, year or more at least. Yeah, dude, she sucked. She tried harder. She's freaking killing it, and a really well-deserved retirement from bouldering for her, which as per that one Magnus and Alex Magos collab, it's kind of interesting that older peeps are retiring from bouldering at the rate they are. Magos, Andra, Kyra. It's the new style of climbing. It's too gross. It's gotta be. Fun to watch, awful to do, terrible for the knees, and for pretty much everything else. Like, who's jumping around like that, dude? It's crazy. Anyways, Kyra says she's gonna be focusing on lead climbing from now on, which is cool. I guess I hate sport climbing personally, so I mean, yeah, you know, go for it. Have fun. Best of luck to Kyra with all that. Should be, you know, a good time, I think. I don't know. And yeah, for anyone wondering, I hate sport climbing because I hate belaying. And I hate belaying so much that when I get belayed by someone, all I can do is think that they hate it as much as I do, and I get all up in my head about it and just want to stop. Just, it doesn't matter how much they tell me, it's fine. Just put me down. I hate it. It's so stupid. I may need therapy. And on to more people retiring from the comp climbing world. Johanna Farber has just announced today that she will no longer be competing. So if you don't know, Johanna Farber is an extremely accomplished comp climber, mainly specialized in bouldering, if I remember correctly, which I do, with her best results coming in 5th in the Taiwan Bouldering World Cup that was held in 2018, but she's been 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. She's been all over the freaking place. Johanna's been a pretty big part of the comp world for a while. If you don't really know who she is, but she sounds familiar, she was the subject of controversy back in 2021 when an IFSC broadcast decided to kind of objectify her with some pretty egregious shots of her butt. Really not going to get into it. Pretty sure she wouldn't want that to be the highlight of this segment, but yeah, still kind of have to mention it because that was a ridiculous thing to happen in 2021. Like, go look it up if you're curious. IFSC had to apologize to her twice. But yeah, no words on why exactly she's retiring. I mean, she's 27, so that's honestly pretty freaking young. I suppose it's likely she just wants to focus on her own projects, get some outdoor climbing done, you know, all that good stuff. Or who knows, man? Maybe she's just over this sport and wants to go like somewhere, spend her time on a farm. I don't know. I can't speak for her. But yeah, honestly, congratulations to Johanna. It's an amazing career. And I'm pretty psyched to see what she does with her time in the future, unless she stops climbing, at which point I really don't care. What does that mean? Next, and guys, it's new shoes season. That's right, swag time, baby. Boy, have all the world's climbing companies been spending their hard-earned cash to find the best and most techy-sounding buzzwords they can. Will an ultra-lined AI toe box Rand help you send that pesky V3 prawns you just can't seem to put together? You bet your goddamn life it will. But okay, look, I'm trying to be serious right now. Ever since 510, or at least the original 510 died, I have been looking nonstop for my new favorite shoes. I love Unparalleled, but like, it's not the same, man. I just want the return of like the original high angle and the original black teams. There's nothing better than having your feet be turned blue by them. It was amazing. It's all I asked for. It's all I want. Will it happen? I'm a realist, and I know the answer is a resounding no, which means new shoe season's kind of got me excited to look at some new toys. Yeah, new Unparalleled shoes are looking interesting. New Boreal super soft shoes. Updates on the Scarpa Furia Airs and Sportiva Squamas and some other kind of cool stuff. I mean, it's not super big fan of all those, but you know, maybe one of you guys is. I don't know. Either way, one thing is true, and that's the new shoe design colors are awful. They're all so, it's just boring. Does anyone agree with me? Like, I'm sorry, man, but like, look at the new Evolve Shamans. What even is that? It's like gray, black, and white. Like, kill me. Terrible. It's more boring than a doctor's office. It's insane. I thought climbing was supposed to be happy and quirky, not, you know, monotone. The Sportiva's women's solutions from like years and years and years ago. The purple ones with the swirls, or what is it, pink? I don't remember. That's where we peaked in the terms of fun shoe designs. Can we go back to like that stuff? Or do people actually like the new thing? I don't know, man. You guys go ahead and let me know in the comments. Am I wrong for thinking that shoes kind of meh at the moment? I don't know. Let me know. And next, another round of the Mellow Rock games was just posted, so even more stuff for everybody to watch. Just head over to Mellow and check the videos out. Honestly, not much to say about it at the moment other than I'd love to know what you guys think. Are you liking the videos? Is there any particular one that stood out to you as particularly great? Do you enjoy this like weird little competition thing? Did you even send something in there that we should, you know, give a look? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And on to the Bouldering World Cup that was held in Bern over the weekend. Fun times, especially when men's boulder number 2 nearly decapitates like 10 different people. I'm aware there's only 8 finalists. It's called hyperbole. Shut up. But yeah, let's take a look at that one. Because there apparently was some controversy. I'm sure all of you at this point have seen the footage of Mehdi Schalk doing that absolute insane 360 dyno thing to a 2-finger pocket. This one, here you go. You get to watch it again.
Let's go. Come on. Come on,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty freaking cool when you actually do it. But here's what happens when you don't.
Up he goes, right, left, right. Oh, that's a good turn.
So, not a great fall, kind of awkward, kind of easy to fall on your neck and pull $1 million baby. Except we're talking climbers, right? So more like $50 baby. unless you're sponsored by Red Bull. But anyways, so with that in mind, 3 coaches from 3 different teams actually appealed for the boulder to be removed from the competition, citing safety concerns, something that was ultimately ignored because cool dyno is cool and rule of cool is important. And man, look, I'm kind of torn about how I feel about this one, because on the one hand, I don't want to see people get hurt. I'm not a psycho. But on the other, all I can hear is every single time I've ever had to get an orientation at a gym, and I've had the whole climbing is an inherently dangerous sport just absolutely drilled into me over and over and over again. You know, did I have to get on the super tall high ball my mom will never know about? In a lot of ways, yes, but also no, not at all. And this, it's kind of an extension of that, except this is on TV and moms across the globe can look at it. But these guys know how to fall. They train stuff like this daily. They're actively making conscious decisions to keep trying the boulder. So party on, Garth. Did I just make a Wayne's World reference? And point still stands. Look, what do I know? I would love to know your thoughts either way. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Do you think that coaches should even be allowed to appeal things like this? Or should danger levels be something that are assessed before the comp and it's just kind of hands off at that point? Because I definitely can see something like this being abused in the future, right? Like if the person you're coaching biffs boulder 2, you just appeal and say it's too dangerous. Get it thrown out of the comp altogether, and you give your climber an advantage or something. At the same time, like, how can you really tell if a boulder is super duper dangerous until people who are actively really trying super hard on it get on it and try it? Maybe that's what happened this time. I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. But anyways, let's throw up a little chart here for the finals. We got Dayan Akhtar, Colin Duffy, Paul Jemft, and Hannes van Duysen rounding out the back half of the finals rank, with a Korean Do-Hyun Lee coming in the 4th spot. And then an incredibly close podium run with Soratu Anraku in 3rd, Mehdi Schalk showing us how serious he is about his comeback in 2nd, and a big surprise and massively well-deserved number 1 spot for Yufei Pan, who power screamed his way up men's boulder number 4. I gotta risk it for the biscuit for this one to show you guys in case you haven't seen and or heard it. Here you go.
26 seconds on the clock.
Pan can win actually if he does his boulder.
Yeah. It should be huge for him and Team China. Left hand.
Okay,
it is the match, right. Now this cat amongst the pigeons time, because the score...
Just hell yeah. That's all I gotta say about it, honestly. It's his first ever gold medal, a really well-deserved one at that. And let's move on to the women, who also had a little bit of a controversial call happen during the finals. This time, Miho Nonaka, who was called back on a technical. Basically, she needed to have all 4 limbs on the starting position for boulder 1. It was marginal, but she took her hand off the starting hold before her right foot touched the volume, which meant she had to redo the whole boulder. But she did end up getting it first go, or I suppose in this case technically 4th try in total. Super frustrating for Miho, but I guess dem's the rules and it sucks to suck. Either way, let's take a look at the scoring, and immediately you might notice a pretty big name that didn't make the finals. Oriane Berton, fresh off her victory last weekend, just barely missed the cut off for this one. But how surprising, lots of Team Japan here, which happens all the time. So rounding out the bottom half of this thing, Melody Sekikawa, Anon Matsufiji, Osha McKenzie, who's just about the most consistent climber I think I've ever seen. She even missed a single final. I feel like she's always there. Zelia Avezu in 4th place, and then the podium, Miho Nonaka back in 3rd place after quite some time, winning her 27th IFSC medal and very much cementing herself as one of the greatest female comp climbers in our sport. Annie Sanders with yet another silver medal under her belt, and of course Erin McBeast herself managing to get her first ever gold medal in bouldering and her 3rd medal of the season. 2 lead gold and 1 boulder gold is not half bad, like at all. It's honestly pretty freaking great. And finally, I gotta at the very least mention the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee budget reconciliation bill that's been released and updated this week. It's essentially a new bill that, while masquerading as a way to provide more housing, forces the selling of 2 to 3 million acres out of a possible 250 million acres of U.S. Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management land, which, as a very long story short, means taking land away from the American people in order to provide more tax cuts for the ultra-rich. How surprising. paint me yellow, and call me Pikachu. So okay, let me just give a few summary points for what all this means, because it's kind of a big deal. So what is eligible for sale? Well, it's everything in green and yellow on this map right here. Putting a link in the description to it, but essentially, there's a lot of climbing in all of the highlighted areas, including places like most of Bishop, Joe's Valley, Ten Sleep Canyon in Wyoming. According to Access Fund, we're talking over 45,000 routes potentially being lost here. And look, this is a climbing focused channel, so of course I'm mostly going to mention the climbing that's in danger, but with the loss of climbing lands also come huge conservation and ecological losses too. And I mean, this is something that affects not just climbers, but hikers, hunters, fishing, mountain biking, camping. I mean, just name an outdoor activity, it's affected. And while national monument lands are exempt from all of this, the Trump Justice Department just issued an opinion in which they argue that the president can revoke national monument protections, meaning not only would an additional 13.5 million acres of land be added to those 250 million plus acres that are eligible for sale, but we're talking about some of the most beautiful and important natural areas, not just in the United States, but in the world, which means they're just perfect places for complete and total exploitation, right? And of course, you know they're going to be targeted immediately. Something that's possible because while this bill states that the point of these sell-offs is to provide more housing, it also has zero safeguards to ensure that any of the land that is sold is used in order to do so. Which pretty much means that if all of this went to plan and Trump wanted to build a golf course in, say, Arches National Park with a freaking hole under the delicate arc, he could. And I haven't even gone to how the sales are meant to happen according to the bill. Nomination of tracts within 30 days of this thing being passed, then every 60 days until the 2 to 3 million acre selling goal is met, with zero hearings, zero debate, zero public input opportunities, just fast-tracked power for a couple of secretaries of the Interior and Agriculture to choose what places to sell at their own discretion. It's perfect. Also just kind of sets things up so state and local governments lose bidding wars to commercial interests with far more resources. So what can be done about this? Well, exactly what I'm doing. Spread the word to everyone. Send this video to people. Make your voices heard. I'm putting a link in the description to Access Fund's website. They have a pre-composed message in there that you can fill out with your information that will be sent to US senators, urging them not to go ahead with this thing. So yeah, if you'd like to help protect some of the most important climbing areas in the world, please go and do so. But of course, that was some climbing news. Thank you as always for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying these little news updates. I'll be back next week with more stuff. But in the meantime, and as always, go climb some stuff.